One of the most recognizable slashers in American horror wasn't even the killer in his franchise's first film. Instead, he was a drowned boy, a catalyst for vengeance. His mother did all the killing, and then he got 4 seconds at the end with 0 dialogue. Jason Voorhees has been a man of few words and worn a lot of faces over the years, and somehow the hockey mask wasn't even the beginning. We've seen him as a frightened child, a sack-headed killer, a rotting corpse, a body-hopping worm demon, a cybernetic murder machine, and just about every stage in between. Today we're ranking every form of Jason Voorhees from worst to best. We'll consider his design, his performance, brutality, and creativity, and how well each version captures what makes Jason such an enduring horror icon. Some are unmistakably Jason. Others feel like the franchise wandered into the woods without a map. Either way, they all count. So grab your machete, gather around the campfire, and let's rank every version of Jason Voorhees. Summerwing greetings and salutations, and welcome to Hacker Slash. If you're joining us again, welcome back. My name is Chris, I'm your friendly neighborhood slasher enthusiast, and this week I'm joined by the classic horror connoisseur, Sean.
His name was Jason, and today is his birthday.
And the paranormal paramour, Binks.
You're doomed. You're all doomed.
Folks, we have so much happening tonight, and I can't wait to get into this. Obviously, when you think of how many Jasons there are, more than you might think. It's not just one per movie. Sometimes there's 2 per movie. Sometimes there's none per movie. There's a lot to get into. But Binks, why don't you take us through the roster for tonight?
Absolutely. So we're starting off with Sackhead Jason from Friday the 13th Part 2. We've got Hockey Mask Jason from Friday the 13th Part 3. Final Chapter Jason, Friday the 13th Part 4, The Final Chapter. Then, of course, it wasn't the final chapter because we have Phantom Jason, Friday the 13th Part 5, with A New Beginning.
I should have named him Catfish Jason.
We really should have. That's a better one. Well, we've also got Undead Jason from Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. Chains Jason, Friday the 13th Part 7, with The New Blood. Manhattan Jason, Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Hellbound Jason, Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. Again, not quite final because we have Cryo Jason, Jason X, and Uber Jason from Jason X. We also have Crossover Jason from the iconic Freddy vs. Jason, Feral Jason from Friday the 13th, 2009 specifically, and then last but not least, Orchard Jason from Sweet Revenge.
Angry Orchard Jason.
Yeah, oh man, why didn't I grab? I still have some Angry Orchard from last year.
I still have some too.
That would have been perfect.
Yeah, I have it in my fridge. I should have brought it out for this episode. But here we are. Folks, you may have noticed that among all the Jasons Binks named, there are a couple exclusions. One, Ari Lehman, the boy in the lake from 1980. He wasn't the killer in that movie, so we didn't include him. We also didn't include young drowning Jason from Freddy vs. Jason or fetal position Jason from Freddy vs. Jason. We also didn't do other fetal position Jason from Manhattan. There's a lot of child Jason that we just weren't messing with in this one. And then we also have John Hawk, who played the opening dream sequence in Part 5. We didn't include him for this very next reason. I mentioned earlier that we should have named him Catfish Jason. And yes, although Part 5 does have Roy, there actually is a Jason in that movie, one in the opening dream sequence. But we gave Part 5 one slot since Jason isn't the killer in that one. And that slot actually goes to Tom Morga, who played both the hallucination Jason and most of the masked Roy scene. So he's the same stuntman, both Jasons, but he only counts as one. And this is where you can get a little generous and see if you want to, throw any bones his way. Now, on the flip side of that, Kane Hodder gets 4 slots because he's played the part 4 times and they are nowhere near the same performance. Now, Uber Jason also has his own entry, even though he is in the same film as Cryo Jason. And of course, Sweet Revenge counts because it's the first official Jason since 2009. And that does come from the Jason Universe and Angry Orchard collaboration.
Crazy how long of that gap,
Big old gap. A big old gap. Now, we are assessing each Jason across 4 categories, and we're going to actually give him 1 to 5 points in each. So here are the categories. 1 is the look. So we're talking about the mask, the costume, the silhouette, what he is when he's just standing still. How does he look? Then we have presence, so how he carries himself. Does he own the frame when he isn't even doing anything? And then we have creativity, the idea behind the kills, how innovative he is. Of course, we then have brutality, which is how gruesome are those kills? What do they actually do to you? It's not enough to be inventive. How much carnage do we actually get? Now, the fun thing here is that all three of us submitted our scores in advance, and we did so blindly without knowing what each other scored anything. And the way that this is going to work is we've actually aggregated all of those scores, and we're going to go category by category, reveal our top three and our bottom three as it averaged out across all of our scores. And then we're going to have a nice old list, starting with number 13 all the way down to number 1 for who we averaged out as our best Jason. Y'all ready to get started?
Oh, I'm so excited to see what happens.
I'm also a little nervous. I don't think my heart could take doing the same activity with Michael Myers, quite frankly.
Oh my
because
God. I think we have to, though, at some point.
I
No?
do think we have to, now that I said that
Yeah.
out loud. Fuck. Okay. Yes, we absolutely have to. Okay. Let's start with our first category, the look. Now we start with the mask because it's the only thing most people can actually picture. And of course, we know that across all of these films, Jason has worn no mask, 2 different masks. He's had different masks for each film. He had a couple different masks in even Jason X. But for our top 3, in third place, we have Undead Jason with 14 points. We then have Sackhead Jason, also with 14 points. And our top slot, Uber Jason with 15 points.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you can tell millennials did this.
Wow.
Yeah. I was gonna say this seems like a result that really makes me feel united to you all. Like I really feel like maybe we are on the same page. I'm very scared of what's to come, but I really feel like these results make sense.
I'm not
Right.
necessarily mad at the results because there's only a couple of Jasons that you'll know as we get through this that I probably just don't think looked very good, right? So
Mhm.
there's a lot of Jasons I think that they show up pretty well as far as just the actual look goes. But I mean, it's a good top 3 for sure. I am surprised though. I am surprised that Feral Jason didn't get in there.
I'm actually really surprised too. And we'll actually get into our scores in just a bit because I think that's where we're going to see that Binks probably tanked us. But let's go through.
And I said what I said, and I did what I did.
Okay, here we go though. Let's talk through our bottom 3, and then we can reveal. I think it'll be fun to see who do we give 1 to, who do we give 5 to in
Okay.
each category. So our bottom 3, we have Chained Jason with 10 points.
Okay.
Then we have tied with 8 points, which I don't fucking know how this got tied. We have Manhattan Jason and Hellbound Jason. Bro, Jason wasn't even Jason for most of that movie. He was just other people's skin.
In Hellbound
And
Jason?
Hellbound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looked like he had like too much sodium in his system.
Yeah, he was like bloated. Bloated
Yeah.
Jason.
Yeah, bloated Jason's a better way to describe it. And that's not even
That's a little-
drowned Jason. That's how fucked up that is.
But it's a little relatable, when you got a little bit of a bloat.
Yeah, is he
Maybe I
PMSing?
should have been. Yeah, maybe I should have been harsher. I don't know. Or maybe I shouldn't have.
Oh, so you did this. Okay.
I mean,
Well,
I think Chain Jason looks pretty dope.
here's the thing. I also think Phantom Jason looks pretty dope. And he got 7 points.
Yeah,
Now,
I didn't like Phantom Jason that much.
but Phantom Jason is just like the opening Jason and then the hallucinations. Like he actually looked like Jason. He looked like Jason from every other fucking movie. So I don't know how he got less points than Hellbound Jason.
I mean, okay. I see where you're going. Going with that.
It's
I
okay.
don't know
It's
if
a
I
Roy
agree.
Burns bias. I wasn't rating Roy Burns in this. I was rating the Jason scenes. But okay, let's go through our 5s and our 1s. My 5s for the look were Sackhead Jason, Uber Jason, and Feral Jason. Because Feral Jason had range.
I think, yeah, I'm with you. Feral Jason definitely is up there. I had a lot of 5s though, to be honest with you. I think almost half of mine were 5s for the look. So I are we going through all of them? Are we going through all our 5s?
I think we should go through all our 5s.
Yeah.
Feral Jason for sure a 5, for sure. Final Chapter Jason I had as a 5. Undead Jason I had as a 5. Chain Jason I had as a 5. Sackhead Jason I had as a 5. Out of Jason X, I only put Uber Jason as a 5 just because it was just such a cool, like, new iconic type of look for
Mhm.
Jason. You know what I mean? So I had to. Hockey Mask Jason, you have to give a 5 for, I feel like, because it started it. You know what I mean? So you have to kind of give that a 5, but those are my 5s.
All right, Binks, what did you do?
Okay. So, all right. Well, my 5s are Undead Jason, and I know that that's already like a what kind of situation, but I'm also thinking of Masked and Unmasked in a way, and both are very just not a vibe in the sense of fear and just looks. It's also a pretty crisp mask with a little bit of a crack. I don't know. I thought,
I'm with
okay, I
you.
can dig it.
I like
You
it.
know? Okay, I'm just saying. Uber Jason, of course. Can we please, everyone, take a look at Uber Jason right now? Google if you're listening. He's terrifying, and
That's sexy boy.
he's a
Jacked.
sexy boy. He's built. He's jacked. I don't know, guys. I don't
He's
know.
not bloated. He's not bloated at all.
No, he
Quite
lost
the
all that
opposite.
water weight.
One movie later, and all of a sudden, he's fine.
He's ripped.
It's
It
creatine
only took
Jason.
it took a membership at the local gym, and that's all he needed. All right.
Planet Fitness.
If Planet Fitness for sure. Now, crossover Jason I have as a 5 because I vividly remember just his look in that movie. I blame it on my youth a bit. I am a little surprised that I just didn't want to give too many 5s. So I was a little too harsh on Feral Jason. I maybe should have pushed him a 4. I don't know if he's a full 5, but
Sick.
I did have Orchard Jason as a 5. Now,
What?
call me a prisoner of the
No.
moment. Call me a prisoner of the moment. But here's why. I kind of liked his look, but at the same time, we don't even see him that much. So this also, we're going to get into presence in a bit, but it may or may not have also impacted that. I know.
Okay.
Oh my God.
No,
I'm
there's so
gonna
much to unpack here. And first, let me say, I didn't give crossover Jason a 5 specifically because on the NECA figure I have for him, and in some moments in that movie, you can see he looks like a little sleepy guy. And it's just, he looks like he looks like he wants to cuddle in for a nap. And there's something, although he is intimidating in that movie, I think because he's also going against Freddy and you're rooting for him more almost. It's like, I don't find you that good looking. But Feral Jason, I can see maybe why you gave him a 4. For me, it's like he's a 10, but he has scraggly hair. And so that was the one thing kind of holding me back. But the fact that we get Sackhead Jason again and he's just that
Yeah.
fierce looking, like I couldn't give him anything but a 5. The
He
only
looks
one
like-
that I gave was
He looks
held
like
out.
a fucking mountain man in that one. He's literally like, you got the burlap sack, like you said, the hair, the beard, the mask. It's like dirty ass clothes. He looks like someone who spent his entire life living in the woods killing people.
Well, listen, when I saw that movie and we get that entire Friday the 13th movie before the Friday the 13th movie even starts, I was so relieved to see that we had Sackhead Jason again because Sackhead Jason is my favorite Jason. And there's something like very clumsy and human about him. But this one feels like, oh no, this guy's fucking serious. Like he's not a goofy little guy anymore. He's not just standing on a stool with a pitchfork trying to pierce somebody. This guy's gonna fuck you up. But man, now I'm wishing I had just broke out my whole NECA figure collection for this because I think I have every single Jason on
Do
here.
you really?
Yeah,
Cool.
if NECA has made it so far, I do have it. Yes. I
Damn.
even
Wow.
have Jason Goes to Hell, but it's not NECA. It's like a McFarlane toy from back in the day. Anyway, we have our top 3. We have our bottom 3. Who did you all give your ones to?
I only have one. It is Chains Jason.
Really?
Yeah. Okay.
A 1?
Yeah, I just again, I go back to Masked and Unmasked. I'm just not impressed. It's giving I
It
don't
looks
even
pretty
know.
mean. I don't know. It looks pretty mean.
Yeah, he looks mean, but I almost feel like it's Unmasked. It's giving Pirates of the Caribbean character somehow,
Yeah,
like
I mean, I could kind of see that unmasked for sure.
right or
Little
it's
zombie
not-
action.
Yeah, and it's not fair to necessarily just because not all of them are unmasked, so there is that point of contention, but I just feel like when I am looking at the whole picture here, I'm just not digging it. I feel like a lot of the other ones are stronger, and I had to give someone a 1.
I guess I didn't
So,
give anybody a 1.
you see?
Hmm.
I tried to at least give someone a 1.
I
Here's the
couldn't.
thing, though. I like Chain Jason. I gave him a 4. He wasn't perfect for me. But let me tell you my biggest like conniption that I had when doing this. It was actually with Manhattan Jason and then with Orchard Jason. With Orchard Jason, I remember being so disappointed with how he looked as a concept in all of the artwork that got released and when they updated his mask and his physical build. And I thought like clothing wise, he looks okay. He just looks like Wish brand Jason, but he looked really good in the movie. Like the angles from which he was shot, the lighting in which he was shot, the fact that we didn't get to see too much of him, he did still look imposing. So I actually didn't mind him in that movie, but as a design, there's something about his mask that really takes me out of it. So that took him down a few points. And then Manhattan Jason. Manhattan Jason is, again, one of my favorite Jasons, but where he severely goes from a 5 to a 2 is because he has the body and not the face card. As soon as you get that shit off, he looks goopy. Not just like fucked up and deformed and monstrous, but just wet and goopy. And when he has that entire sewer scene, I was like, man, they really massacred my boy.
Yes, I'm surprised. I also have him as a 2, and I thought maybe I would be the only one that felt that exact way. It's it's a bit of a mess. That's another one that, truthfully, right next to Chain Jason, quite literally, I feel like, what is this? An episode of what is that? Goosebumps, or like, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Like, it seems very childish and off-putting in comparison to all the other unmasked Jasons, at the very least.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't give any. I didn't give any 1s. I don't know. I did. My lowest score for look was Phantom Jason. It just was, because I feel like the only reason I say that is because, not that it looks like terrible, but I think in this one, the mask just does a lot of the heavy lifting. It's like literally just the mask, And so, like, how are you giving a high score to the look when it's literally just one component? Without the mask, I think, you basically just have a guy in like a mechanic's outfit or something. It just doesn't feel, it doesn't feel right. But I think, it's okay. It's okay. So, I don't
All
know.
right.
That was
Well, listen, you bring up an interesting point here, Sean. Anybody can wear a mask, but what we have to get into next is our category that highlights the fact that presence separates a stuntman from a mannequin. Anybody can put a mask on, but not everybody can actually channel Jason, walk across the frame, and make him feel as imposing as the legend of his brand. So for our top 3, we have in third place Feral Jason with only 14 points. Sackhead Jason also with 14 points. And then we have Uber Jason with 15 points.
okay.
Well, there's a lot to unpack here. One being, we really are millennials for sure. Uber Jason with a solid 15 is telling, is perfect score, obviously. I am very surprised by the Sackhead Jason. Which one of you docked him? Because it ain't me.
I ranked him 5.
So did I.
Okay, well, I fucked up and I gave him 4 because he's a little clumsy.
Ah,
But I do love him. I do love him. I still like him better than Uber Jason. But for me, again, this is separating like my affection and my bias towards Sackhead Jason because I would pick him over anybody, ride or die. But just thinking about like physical imposition, of all the Jasons, he's kind of the scrawniest looking. He just looks like a regular guy. And while I love his design and his costume, this man hides on a chair in a dark room and then kind of falls and he's as close as you get to Ghostface while still being Jason.
yeah, but so like for me with Sackhead Jason, the whole presence aspect, he's slow, he's quiet, he's stalking, like it feels like that killer, and because we don't know exactly what he looks like, there's mystery surrounding him still, so Sackhead Jason has this presence. You don't want to underestimate Sackhead Jason. He's, to me, despite all the undead looking, Jasons and the mutated looking Jason faces that we see over the years. Sackhead Jason for me is arguably one of the creepiest Jasons in the franchise. There's just something incredibly primal about him, with no hockey mask, no supernatural powers, just this fucking giant dude in a burlap sack that's stalking people through the woods, you know? Like, it's all you need.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I mean, I know I said he's as close as you get to Ghostface. I mean, he's also as close as I think you get to Michael Myers, even though when you think of
Sure.
Jason and Michael, you think of hockey mask Jason. But I think for me, I love the idea of human Jason who's just fucking shit up. But again, like you make him throw down with any other Jason on this list, and he's probably going to get stomped.
I mean, sure.
I think that, man, the thing with Sackhead Jason is that it's easily forgotten in terms of look and presence because he is quite literally so different than all the others in perception. I mean, you said it yourself. Like when we think of Jason, we think of the hockey mask. They branded the fuck out of that thing. But I do agree that Sackhead Jason is probably the most terrifying in terms of presence and ambiance because you fully don't even see nothing,
Yeah.
nothing at all. And I agree that the more human version of it is also most sinister. Now, feral Jason, I'll say, was me. Again, I'm sorry. Maybe I've got some regrets, okay? Because feral Jason also was feral and off-putting and a little intense, but my fives were pretty reserved.
I hear you, but you know the thing with feral Jason is in this one it's kind of a different presence for Jason. He's fast, he's strategic, he uses like these traps to get the victims, right? Like he knows, you know, he has these tunnels in this one. He observes his victims a little bit more. He's not just wandering around hoping somebody eventually walks into his machete kind of deal. He's like literally hunting. So like you've got, I don't know, it's a very interesting presence, you know. It's just different. It's just different. I don't know.
Definitely a predator situation.
Yeah, 100%.
There's something about feral Jason that's also just sweatier than the others. It's like more humid in his movie, it feels like. But when I look at my fives, I give a 5 to Hockey Mask Jason, Uber Jason, and feral Jason. And it's not even like for Hockey Mask Jason specifically because of how iconic that mask is. And then we get the axe mark in it at the end of the movie. If you look at Unmasked Jason throughout that whole movie, absolutely the fuck not. But I think he's like my favorite hockey mask.
Which one is that? The
Part 3.
Oh, part 3. Yeah,
Part
I mean,
three, yeah.
sure, for sure, absolutely. I get it. I had a lot of 5s in this one too. I had, obviously, we talked about feral Jason. I had a 5 for final chapter Jason. Chain Jason, I had a 5. We talked about Sackhead. Uber Jason, I gave a 5. Even crossover Jason, I gave a 5. But I think undead Jason also deserves a 5. And I just think in Jason Lives, the look is just like, obviously the look is fantastic, but also the physical presence is huge in that one. CJ Graham is massive, one, and the movement is super deliberate. He doesn't need to rush in any way. It's just a perfect kind of Jason presence. He walks into the frame and just really owns it every time. So that's like Jason Lives for me is like one of those ones that I just like remember years and years after watching.
No, I totally get that. Jason Lives has grown on me since hearing your love for it. I feel like you're like slowly chipping away at the parts of that movie that I didn't really care
It's
for.
like I'm winning you over with Jason Lives.
You are winning me over. Of all the things you could have possibly won me over on, I'm really glad it was Jason Lives and not anything else. Like Rob Zombie or Skin of a Rink.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, maybe. But in terms of our bottom 3, and folks, this is where things get a little shocking for me.
Really?
I'm not surprised by, but I think I'm surprised by the lack of presence of something in the top 3. Our bottom 3 from the bottom, Phantom Jason, real basement dweller in this ranking with 5 points. Hellbound Jason with 8 points, and Cryo Jason with 10 points.
Okay. Well, Phantom Jason, I feel like that's about right. I don't feel passionate about Phantom Jason. Not a single bit. Not a single bit. Not scared. Not worried. Not my vibe. Now, the others I'm pretty interested by because I kind of put them at an average score, more or less. Like Hellhound Jason, I put as a 3, pretty average. I thought not too shabby, you know. Cryo Jason, I had at a 4. And again, I'm just thinking movie in general. I felt like he's got just as much presence as when he becomes, haughty Uber Jason, But interesting. Okay, yeah, that was an interesting bottom 3. What did you guys put?
Yeah, I mean, those were some of my lower scores, but again, like if I'm looking at all this now and I'm looking at my score sheet, right? Like I can tell you right now that there isn't like a whole lot of hate for Jasons, you know what I mean? So
Right.
I don't know that I scored a 1 in any category for any Jason, to be honest with you. So
John, you're too nice.
I'm
You
We
just
could
have
have made
saying,
a rule.
I'm just saying, look, I mean, Phantom Jason got the lowest. It was a 3. It was a 3, you know. So I'm standing behind it. Like I'm not out here hating on any Jasons. I just think that some are better than others. That's all.
When Halusa Jason gets a 3 versus anything else on the board, Sean is feeling pretty damn generous. To be clear, even in the Halloween episode, I'm still going to be handing out 1s, and Michael Myers is my boy. So I think we just got to, look inwards a little
Okay.
bit, be a little scrupulous.
All
But
right, maybe I should have thrown some 1s in there.
it's
Okay.
okay, because I know if Roy Burns was on this list, you would have tanked him with pure 1s. Okay,
That's true.
so we've gone through our bottom 3. I know I'm defending Phantom Jason. I still gave him a 1 because he's literally imaginary. So there isn't much presence to be had there. And then Hellbound Jason, absolutely the fuck not. He may have looked semi cool if less bloated in the beginning of the movie, and maybe he's like okay at the end, but there's just not enough in there that I think really competes with some of the other Jasons that we get. But
Yeah, I mean that's true. Now that I think about it, maybe that should have got a lower score for presence because he's literally not in the fucking movie. But okay.
here's the real question though. When Kane Hodder was departed from playing Jason, he was departed because they wanted someone taller than him to play in Freddy versus Jason. And they got someone who was barely taller than him.
That's
Just
some
funny.
savage,
That is some funny
short
shit.
king discriminatory shit.
He's not even short.
And he's not even short. Yeah, no, I know. It's crazy.
The real question is here, does size matter for you all? Like when you look at okay, Vince.
Sorry, had to.
I love this
Had
could be
to.
a video episode. Everybody can see that reaction.
Don't
When
care.
you look at your 5s and even your 4s, was bigger better for you?
I mean,
not really. Actually, shockingly, not really. Well, let me see. I don't think so.
I don't know that he has to be like insanely huge. You know what I mean? Like I think that obviously you kind of want. Yeah, but you can't have a scrawny Jason. Like you can't have a puny little guy that's somehow destroying people. Like you got to have some kind of a bodily presence there. So I think does he have to be like a giant? No, but he definitely has to be someone that you can believe can like actually overpower some people. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I think for me, presence can be more than just height because we've
Yeah.
got slashers across all throughout horror that aren't mega and like huge. I mean, Ghostface, obviously, like what gives the illusion is the costume. And I think even in Jason's case, I agree with you, Sean. Like for it to be I mean, I almost wanted to say believable, but it literally gets weird and supernatural. But you have to believe that some of these kills are even possible. And that requires a little bit of meat on them bones,
Yeah, man. I'm thinking about even like obviously Uber Jason was Kane Hodder, pretty jacked. Feral Jason, he got gigantic and just like absolutely ripped. But the rest of mine landed mostly in the 4 category, except for Hockey Mask Jason from part 3, because for me in my brain when I was watching that movie, that felt like such a physical shift from scrawny overalls and plaid Jason to stealing clothes off a fucking clothesline and just looked like the clothes he was wearing was almost too tight or too short for him. And even like the neck, like when he puts on that hockey mask and you see like how bulging his neck is, He just looked intimidating as fuck. So that is, I think, forevermore my Jason when it comes to the hockey mask era. But
That's your 5. That was a 5 for you in
that was a
present.
5 for me. Yeah, only 3 of them got it. It was Farrell, Uber, and hockey mask from part 3. But I
Yeah,
think
he's more
my
athletic than later Jasons for sure. Like he's,
yeah.
you know, there's
Yeah.
definitely something a lot more human about that one for sure. So like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, he's like the guy who like works out or is like muscular naturally because he's
Yeah.
like doing a lot of shit versus the guy who's just in the gym and just like slamming whatever the fuck it is guys do to make big muscles. I don't know.
Yeah, broad shoulders and coveralls, man.
There it is. Now, obviously, we have the aesthetic, but it's not just how Jason looks, it's also what he does. And before we even get into the brutality of things, we want to take a moment to honor the innovation, the creativity. Not the blood, not the gore, but what does he reach for and would anyone else have thought of it? So, after our votes and after our scores, our top 3 tied for third place. We have Feral Jason and Orchard Jason with 13 points.
Wow.
In second place, we have Uber Jason with 14 points. And then we have Cryo Jason, 15 points. And I think we all did Cryo because of the liquid nitrogen, right?
Yeah. I mean, you have to give it that. I mean, you can't drop it because of that, I feel like, you know?
That already gave everybody else like a very terrible fighting chance, I think.
Yeah. It's just such a cool kill.
The thing about Jason X is also the bandwidth of all of the motherfucking kills. I mean, and the multitude of which, but we've got explosions, we've got, sucked into outer space. You got space as a weapon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it gets creative, but also maybe because of the environment in which they're in, kind of gives it that bonus. I don't know. What do you guys think? Because that now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, okay, sure, but that's not really fair to all the other ones. Again, no contest with the cryo and they're in space. Tough.
Yeah. I mean, listen, he had more creative tools at his disposal. But I also think if you were to throw like Art the Clown in the mix, Art the Clown would have been more creative than Jason X. So I think there's still plenty you can do on Earth and still exhibit a high level of innovation that would maybe overtake the liquid nitrogen.
Yeah.
But damn, bro, liquid nitrogen.
It was just too cool.
It's too fucking cool.
It was just too cool. But yeah, I mean, there are a lot of like other, like when you think of diversifying creativity in the kills and things like that. Orchard Jason did have, I did not put a 5 for Orchard Jason. I put a 4, but like there were some crazy kills in there. I will agree.
That's what I'm saying.
Your boy used a boat motor.
A boat motor was actually pretty sick. It was pretty sick for sure.
That was impressive.
And not just that, it was also the way when he killed the guy who fucking owns the property. You have the knife in the head or the eye and then the fucking apple in the mouth. Obviously, with Angry Orchard, sure, yes, product placement, but
yeah,
that was fucking great. Like that was a little bit of Michael Myers posing the body.
It was kind of given a little bit of Michael Myers for sure. Yeah, I think if we had gotten a lot of that in a full movie, it may have earned a 5 for me.
I want a full movie of that.
Yeah.
I really do. That was a great way for Jason to come back to the screen. And actually, Orchard Jason was one of my 5s. I gave 5s to Orchard, Uber, Cryo, and Final Chapter Jason.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah,
I
had a lower amount of 5s for this one. I only gave 5s to Cryo Jason, Undead Jason, Final Chapter Jason, and Feral Jason. Those are my tops. So I mean, if you think of Feral Jason, I'm not gonna like say it like it's really, this episode is shaping up for me to be like, yeah, Feral Jason.
Sean is feral for Feral Jason.
I did give Feral. I am feral for Feral Jason. I did give him 5s across the board. I'm pretty sure, but you think of like the kills specifically, tent kills. Arrow, he uses arrows. There's a sleeping bag kill, and he uses an axe, a machete, electrocution, knives. He crushes some fucking skulls. He's got some underground kills. Like when you think about that kind of variety, he's not just walking up and swinging a machete, you know?
Sean, bear traps sleeping bag burned over a fire. You mentioned the arrow. Feral Jason is hunter-gatherer Jason. Feral Jason will provide for you.
Yeah, that is true.
Binks is getting a little bit more intrigued.
Listen, I actually put Feral Jason as number 4. Look, the way that this hashed out was the following. I put Cryo and Uber as 5s because yes, the nitrogen, absolutely. But then I thought, okay, let me start to really, give the 4s, limit on the 5s, even more than I already have. So I actually gave the more recent Jasons after the fact all 4s. Because I think there is a shift at some point, and I really do think that it is somewhat with Jason X after the kills and the creativity starts to ramp up. But I think that also is telling of where we were at in society, our interests, etc. Right? With the exception, and this might shock you, Manhattan Jason, I gave a 4 as well because Manhattan Jason. Let's not forget the boxing. Yep, exactly. With
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
I may not like that movie too much, but I do remember that kill and it is kind of funny and hilarious. So the other ones that were like kind of average, and to me, I was thinking like, okay, but classics, I guess. I'm thinking I want creativity. I want us to get crazy with an antler, using antlers as a kill, like where's that about?
Well, so like final chapter Jason, which is another Jason that I think like at least from probably us growing up is probably another like staple in our slasher movie watch because it's just a classic, and I think that this movie is basically a Jason highlight reel. Like this actually might be one of the most dangerous Jasons because he's not supernatural yet. He's just this gigantic psychopath. And he has we have some really cool kills in that. We have the ice pick kill. There's the corkscrew kill. There's also some axe action in there. Of course, you got the classic machete, but there's like knives, the shower kill, the saw kill.
Sean, he also throws people out of fucking windows.
Yeah. So like I like Final Chapter Jason.
Final Chapter Jason was again, one of my 5s. There's only one that I give a 2 to, which we'll actually get into the bottom 3 here in a second. But I want to just really shout out here because part 3, okay, maybe I'll save it for the bottom 3. Part 3, I feel like had a lot going on, and then Final Chapter, to your point, was just a huge escalation to that, and it felt like that was the license that Jason needed to just go absolutely fucking nuts for the rest of the franchise.
Oh my gosh.
Now,
oh my gosh.
In terms of that bottom 3, we have at the very bottom of the list, Sackhead Jason with 8 points. We then have Hockey Mask, Phantom, and Hellbound with 9 points.
Yeah.
Already, I can tell you, looking at my scores and my decision, Phantom should have probably been a little less, and that's on me. I'll take that L. For sure.
You mean the person who didn't do anything?
I don't know why. Why the fuck did I click 2? I clearly was getting a little too happy. And somehow
Yeah, I'm just realizing that one should have been just lower across the board, but
yeah,
that's what it
is. I'm talking a lot of shit, but I also gave it a 3 because I wanted to really give credit to the stuntman because obviously Tom, who plays Hallucination Jason, he plays masked Roy, and so like the fake Jason. And listen, that guy killed 13 fucking people, and he had a lot going on. Maybe not the most creative. I didn't rate him among my shining stars, but I cannot believe that Sackhead got worse than the Phantom.
You know what? And I'll say it. Yeah, me. Okay.
Oh,
I gave it a 1. I gave it a
1.
Because listen. Because I'm owning my truth here. I'm owning my truth, and I'm saying it now. I guess if you don't count Pamela, I think he's the least kills. He's just really slashing. Is there anything, I'm even looking at it right now, I'm like, is there anything really just like outstanding of these 11 kills? Not really aside from the basics. Nothing real creative here, I think.
Okay. Well,
maybe the strangulation with a barbed wire? Oh, the ice pick. Okay, fine. The ice pick, actually. The ice pick, fine. Maybe I could have maybe given it a 2 because of the ice pick. But
bro, the movie opens with him putting his mother's decapitated head into the final girl from the first film's fridge, then killing her with the ice pick. Okay, I will
Spear
admit.
through the bed.
Yeah, Sackhead Jason got a 3 for me, but it's because he was more of a tool shed than anything else. But you
I
know
give it
what?
a
He
4.
had his little shack in the woods, and that's fine. That's
Yeah.
okay. You know who he killed more people than? The imaginary Jason.
Okay, yes. And I admit I fucked up, okay? I fucked up and I'm sorry. But I don't know. I don't know. I had to give ones. I thought to me, I had to give ones. And you know what? While we're at the topic, yeah, I'll say it. I also gave Hockey Mask Jason a 1. But that one, I mean, fine. Maybe I could
A
have
1, man. That's tough.
I don't know, actually, you know what maybe the circuit box, the kid, the womb, the baby. That's pretty brutal. Fuck them kids. But
Thanks.
and the head crushed. All right. So here's what I'm thinking. Phantom should have been 1, and I should have given this one a 2. But it's still at the
Thanks.
bottom. I wasn't the only one.
I mean,
Same.
I would argue. Listen, obviously we're on opposite ends of the spectrum here. You gave a lot of 1s. I gave literally no 1s. So
I was mostly in the middle too.
Yeah.
Okay. Binks. Jason in part 3 kills someone with a knitting needle. Jason in part 3 fucking bisects someone who was doing a handstand. He also shoots someone in the eye with a harpoon right after getting his mask. Like, he does a lot. He does a lot in part 3.
That's a lot, I guess. Yeah,
We need to run you through the
everyone.
whole franchise again.
No, God.
Oh
Don't do
yeah,
that
you
to
got to
me.
do a marathon.
No. That's sickening.
I think
I'll see you.
we should rewind them all.
No.
Yeah, series.
I'd rather watch Army of Darkness again.
Wow.
Just kidding. Actually, no. I would much rather watch all those movies again over Army of Darkness. But okay, you're right. But I just
honestly, I
feel
think there's
a little
a better.
uninspired.
I think outside of the boxing kill, Manhattan probably should deserve a lower score. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only really good kill in that movie.
Fine. And you know what? With that logic, I think with that logic, you're right, because I guess for one insanely iconic kill, it shouldn't overweight the overall picture. But with that logic, could we say the same about Cryo and Uber?
We actually probably could.
No. Let me tell you why you can't. Because in Jason X, he also killed 4,713 angelfish, 207 dogs, 17 cats, 3 turtles, and a pony because of the Solaris crash.
Oh my gosh. That's true. That's true.
And
the magnitude of kills alone helps.
Hold up. I think we also have to training time out here for a little breaking news. Final chapter. Did Jason kill a single fucking person with a machete in final chapter?
In the final chapter, did he?
Hacksaw, scalpel, corkscrew, cleaver, harpoon gun, garden harrow, projector, thrown axe. The only machete in the film is the one Tommy uses to kill him.
Okay. That's interesting.
Strange.
But that is diversifying, the weapons.
He has a nice little portfolio. I want to also just give a quick note here. Of the kills, and again, this isn't like a fully comprehensive list of kills. This is like you go online, you find a Friday the 13th wiki, and you see what they get. Just aggregating a little bit of that data, we have a machete was used in approximately 33 kills for Jason. Impalement tools was used for about 20. So that includes spears, pitchforks, harpoon guns, trident, tent spikes, metal rods, antennas, mining drills, and a claw hook. Then we have his bare hands for 19 kills, skull crushes, neck breaks, and dismemberment with his bare hands. We have non-machete blades, which includes knives, cleavers, scalpels, hacksaws, sickles, corkscrews, and knitting needles, about 18 kills. Improvised environmental kills, like the one-offs, sleeping bag, sauna rock, liquid nitrogen, weed whacker, party horn, guitar, deer antlers, 18 kills. Axe was used around 8 times, mostly thrown. And of course, drowning in water about 5 times in the franchise.
Very limited use of water there. He's clearly scared.
Yeah, it's a little scared of the water. Okay, but obviously, in terms of creativity, we have some highlights and some lowlights, but we also have to assess how intense all of those kills were. And we've started to get there a little bit more. But for brutality, The impact, the force, the cruelty, how much it actually hurts to watch. A clever kill you barely see is not a brutal kill. Our top 3, as in order, we have a tie for 3rd place. Undead Jason, Manhattan Jason, and Feral Jason with 12 points apiece. In 2nd place with 13 points apiece.
How the fuck?
Cryo, Uber, and Orchard Jason. And also with 13 points, not sure why it's in 1st place, Final Chapter in top 3.
Wait.
Okay.
What?
Okay. I'll say that Final Chapter I did give at least an average score because I was a little bit more forgiving. You guys clearly were mega fans. So I'm feeling not mad at it that I got number 1, especially with what we discussed already with the versatility of weapons and no machete used. I mean, okay, I'm with that. A lot of ties. Taking a look. He does get a little bit brutal towards the end here, and that's what we're seeing as far as the rest of the top 3. For the most part, it's kind of inching towards the later side of the franchise. Like I said, the brutality piece. I mean, I gave Manhattan, Hellhound, Cryo, and Uber 5s.
I gave Final, Undead, and Orchard 5s.
Yeah, I gave Final, Undead, Feral, and Cryo 5. No, yeah, maybe, and just no. I think wait, let me look at this. I think Feral, Undead, and Final Chapter were 5s for sure. And now that I'm looking at this, I feel like also Change should have been higher. Chain Jason should have been higher. We're just thinking of like the effects, the practical effects. They pushed for gorier kills. They had to even, I think some of them were even trimmed, just to like get it through. So like, I don't know. I think maybe that one was a miss a little bit. Just throwing it out there. But
so. 'Cause I did forget about the kill with the weed whacker at the abdomen.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard when you're just like throwing some numbers at, and you're just like, it's a lot of movies to remember, a lot of kills to remember. It's hard, it's hard sometimes. Now we talk through it. Would we have changed things 1 point here, 1 point there?
Well, you don't even know where everyone's averaged out yet, so we'll see.
Y'all are gonna hate me after this. No, I mean, no. I think that there's some where it's, of course, everyone's perception of Jason and their preferences of the movies as well are naturally going to indicate your stuff here. But I think there's some level of like brutality and creativity to me are so intertwined that I want the creativity. Therefore, I am looking and seeing that it's more brutal. Orchard, I think I definitely could have maybe upped a little bit more. I think actually Feral, I definitely should have like upped considerably. But yeah, interesting. That's an interesting top 3.
I'm surprised that we didn't get a single perfect 15 in the top 3 for brutality.
Yeah. We clearly were trying to like give love to everybody and maybe a lot of 5s or a lot of 4s and a lot of 3s in this area.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 4s, no 1s, 2 2s. My 2s were Phantom and Hellbound.
I had a bunch of 4s for this one and a few 3s.
Okay, well, let's see who averaged out with those few 4s and few 3s. Our bottom 3, all the way at the bottom, with 7 points, not 3. Phantom, we still didn't give him a 1. Chain Jason with 9 and Sackhead with 9.
Listen,
see, I think Chain shouldn't have been at the bottom. That was a miss, but okay.
Phantom Jason is getting a 1 and got a 1 from me. Okay, so y'all are very nice.
Generous.
Binks is the one keeping us honest.
Yeah.
Especially with Phantom Jason. I should have kept him more honest in the other category, if anything. So that's for sure. Yeah, and for me, Sackhead and Chains, I had lower. But again, it goes back to my perception of those kills and the creativity of them also. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, yeah. But in comparison to everybody else, you know what I mean? Like somebody had to get a 2.
Somebody did have to get a 2. And I think it's time for us to start revealing our actual ranked list in order. Are we ready?
I'm ready. Let's hear it.
Okay. In 13th place, actually, do we want the total and then what we each collectively, like the composite score for each of us individually?
Yeah.
This is going to be hilarious. I can't wait to see how many 15s Sean has.
I don't have that many 15s.
Buddy, we're all
Okay.
looking at the same thing.
In 13th place with 28 total points, Phantom Jason. Phantom earned 9 points from me, 6 points from Binks, and 13 points from Sean. In 12th place, we have Hellbound Jason with 35 points. That's 6 points from me, 14 points from Binks, and 15 points from Sean. In 11th place, we have Chained Jason. 40 overall points, 15 points from me, 7 points from Binks, and 18 points from Sean.
Sorry.
Do you want to take a moment to publicly apologize to Sean for this utter disrespect in this household?
I am very sorry. I really am. I also really don't like that movie. A lot was just really not working in its favor in this episode. I'm so sorry.
Okay, here we go. We have in 10th place Manhattan Jason with 41 points. That's 13 points from me, 14 points from Binks, and 14 points from Sean.
Oh, we're pretty even on that one. That's impressive.
Mm-hmm. In 9th place, we have part 3, Hockey Mask Jason with 42 points, 17 points from me, 8 points from Binks, and 17 points from Sean. In 8th place, from Friday the 13th part 2, Sackhead Jason with 45 points, 15 from me, 12 from Binks, and 18 from Sean.
Not too shabby. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Pretty even keeled. I actually, if anything, would have maybe given a little bit.
I can't believe you scored lower on that one than I did.
Yeah, I can't believe it either.
The problem is the more recent categories we just talked about. The brutality and the kills and the creativity is what brought it down just a smidge, but still 12 and not 8, just saying.
Okay, well, that was my boy. Let's go to Sean's boy. We have Undead Jason at number 7 with 46 points, 16 points from me, 10 points from Binks, and 20 points from Sean.
Perfect score.
Mm-hmm. In 6th place, we have Crossover Jason from Freddy vs. Jason, 47 points total, 13 from me, 17 from Binks, and 17 from Sean.
Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah.
In 5th place, Final Chapter Jason, 48 total points, 18 from me, 10 from Binks, 20 from Sean.
I mean, you might as well just decapitate me with a machete now, you know?
Yeah. Well, I don't want to decapitate you too prematurely because we have a tie for 3rd and 4th place, tied with equal points. And actually, we each scored them. So, like the individual scores, I gave both of these 15. Binks gave both of them 18. Sean gave both of them 17. We have Cryo Jason and Orchard Jason.
Okay.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how many people are going to love us for making Orchard Jason so high up, you know?
They're going to hate us. All
They're
right.
gonna hate us bad.
We're trying to get a sponsor.
I love that.
In 2nd place, Feral Jason, 52 points, 18 from me, 14 from Binks, 20 from Sean.
I'll admit I have regrets on Feral Jason. I'll leave it at that. I'm glad that you guys carried the weight on that one. That was a little silly on my part, and I admit that, and that's fine. We move on.
And then, of course, our number 1 Jason in this millennial list, Uber Jason, with a total of 57 points.
Oh my
19
God.
from me, 20 from Binks, 18 from Sean.
Wow, that's so high. I don't know if that should be number 1.
I also don't know if it should be number 1, but
that's what happened collectively.
That's what happened collectively.
Let the record show that it was not in my top 3 somehow, but it is number 1 on this list.
It's because we weren't loyal to the ones that we love, and we got a little spicy on some scores. We're being too objective and not subjective enough. Well, I think what's interesting is, Sean, I'm going to count. I said the number 15 earlier because we were originally going to do 3 categories. A perfect score now is 20.
Yeah.
And Sean, you had 1, 2, 3 perfect scores.
Yeah.
Binks, you had 1 perfect score, and I gave 0 perfect scores.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. 0 perfect scores?
0.
Not
Jason is
even
not a perfect.
1? Not even your
Jason's
favorite Jason?
Jason's not a perfect guy.
Hmm.
You only, and to be clear, not only do you not have a perfect score, but you also only have one Jason at 19, and that is Uber Jason. Like,
Yeah.
you really, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even have multiple Jasons that are so high up there at 19. You
Yeah.
only have one. You only have
Final
one that's 18,
chapter.
or sorry, two.
Yeah.
That's
Final chapter and Feral are at 18. Undead at 16. Like my favorite Jason is not even like that close to the top. So
Well, I will say my top 3 were Feral Jason, Final Chapter Jason, and Undead Jason. Those are my top 3.
okay.
I clearly really like Jason X, even though I'm gonna say the fact that it stars Cronenberg is already just an up. But I mean, I'm a kid, I'm a kid going through some of these. I was 9 years old when Jason X came out. Okay, that was my fucking movie. If there was gonna be one of these that introduced me to Jason, I'm pretty sure it was that one that I remember. Obvious, quite literally, because the other one, I was 1 years old. So that's my Jason, and I
Mhm.
stand by that.
That's fair.
Iconic.
That's fair.
Yeah. Wow.
What an
What a
interesting
time.
turn of events, man.
We really did that. And people are going to be able to do that too. But I'm going to post the link to this survey and anybody can submit and share their rankings of their Jason. But before we wrap up, I think it's appropriate to just address a couple different areas, right? One, obviously, we have a full spectrum of Jason, and we asked ourselves another question on a scale of 1 to 5. How much do you enjoy the supernatural evolution of Jason compared to the human version? So imagine 1 being the human version and 5 being the most supernatural. Sean, I believe you scored heavy on the supernatural side. Binks, you did mostly human. I think you did a 2. And then I was straight up human. I don't want a dead Jason. I don't want space Jason. I don't want any of that. I just want. And I know I gave Uber Jason number 1 for me, but
Yeah, I like
I-
both. Let the record show I like both, but Undead Jason is very cool. And then we also, I don't know, with Feral Jason, it's a reboot, I get it, but I think that motherfucker was fucking not that fucking full human, man. That thing is fucking wild.
yeah, he is
He was
something.
That was a monster.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, mostly human is cool.
Yeah.
Like human, but just enough to be like, that can't be.
More
That just
human
can't be
than
right.
human.
Yeah, I think I prefer the straight up human. But we also asked ourselves, which film version of Jason do you consider to be the most iconic? Sean, what was your answer?
It was Final Chapter. Yeah, because that's like the Jason that I remember. Like that's the Jason that sticks with me from childhood, Like I feel like I probably watched that one before I watched any other one, to be honest with you.
Binks?
Yeah. I mean, to Sean's point, as I said, mine is Jason X. It's also just like when we talk about the franchise as a whole, I'm sure if I were to poll about like 1 out of 3 people, they're always going to say, oh, yeah, that time that Jason goes to space. It's so absurd, but it's iconic because it's absurd.
My God, what if we did like a what if we did like a test where we just get to see the mask and we're like, where is this from? What movie is this from? That would be hard.
That would be pretty hard. Well,
Okay, well, here's the thing.
huh.
Come October 15th, when the Crystal Lake series comes out, maybe we need to do another episode where we're just testing our maths knowledge.
That'd be wild.
Maybe we can absolutely do that. I went, for me personally, part 3, while in my heart of hearts, part 2 is the most iconic for me and the one that I've chose to immortalize in permanent ink on my skin. I think part 3 being the start of what Jason becomes and endures so long within horror is just absolutely unmistakable, and also has a pretty couple great characters. My favorite final girl comes from part 3, but I think she's a worthy adversary to, I think, a Jason that was, I felt for that first time, like super threatening. And listen, we've talked about a lot of Jasons here, and there's still more to come. Again, that Crystal Lake series, although it's centered around Pamela Voorhees, there is obviously a Jason that is cast. We'll see how old they are. And we're actually going to do bonus episodes on the Crystal Lake series when it comes out in October. So a long-standing request to cover TV shows is, well, on the way. Now, ranking every version of Jason Voorhees is one of those conversations where, of course, there isn't really a right or wrong answer. It's super subjective. And whether your favorite is the relentless zombie from part 6, the burlap sack from part 2, the hulking powerhouse from the remake, or even like a millennial, a proper space Jason, every era brings something different to one of horror's greatest icons. And we want to hear from you. We want to know which Jason tops your list and which one did we rank too high or too low. You can connect with us on Discord, on Instagram, or in the comments wherever you're listening or watching. And if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow the show and share it with a horror fan in your life who's ready to defend their favorite Jason with the intensity of a Crystal Lake Final Girl. It helps more people discover Hacker Slash, and it helps us keep making more episodes like this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, let us know how wrong or right we were, jump on that Discord like Chris said. I think that's where we can continue the conversation. But if you had fun with us ranking all of these Jasons tonight, also, why not consider supporting the show? Visit patreon.com/hackerslash. This is literally how you can enjoy even more of the show. We have bonus content, early access, extended episodes, movie nominations, fun stuff like this, and of course, live shows.
We'll see you next time, folks. And remember, first rule of love, never get rejected by the same girl twice. If you want to make a fool out of yourself, always do it with someone new.
I tried to destroy him, but I fucked up.